A little bit of a story time / revelation about how God's been rerouting me in this season. So some of these series of events happened over a span of a week. So one day I have a meeting taking place at this time, and I was planning on arriving there probably about 30 minutes before because I wanted to be early, I wanted to be prepared, and I wanted to stop and get my coffee. For some reason, I felt it in my spirit to look at maps and I knew how to get there, but I felt it in my spirit to map an alternate direction, and it looks like there might have been some sort of accident or something. So, completely switch my route and go a different direction. And so I took it as, okay, I get to see a different change of scenery. And I had maps going, and I'm getting a little frustrated or a little irritated because I'm getting close to, it looks like I'm not going to have time to stop and get my coffee. And then as I'm getting closer, I'm getting red light after red light, and it looks like I'm going to be late. And I'm getting frustrated over this. And I'm just looking at it, and I prayed about it. I'm like, do I notify the other person that I'm a few minutes late, or do I wait until we get closer? So I finally noticed that I'm like, I kind of already accepted it. I'm going to be 10 minutes late. It is what it is. So the minute I say, God, I don't understand why you rerouted me. I wanted to be early. I wanted to be prepared, but I'm going to arrive at the time whenever you want me to arrive, and there's a reason why you're rerouting me. I don't understand, but I trust you. Immediately after I said that, there was a car on the left-hand side that had 828. And if you know me, Romans 8:28 is my verse. All things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. And that, he always shows me that if I feel like I'm either discouraged, he's closing doors, or he's rerouting. So I look at maps again. It looks like I might be there just a few minutes late. I was like, okay, not that big of a deal. Big deal. I pull up to my destination literally on the dot at the time that I'm supposed to have my meeting. The next day, there's some sort of rerouting because there's some sort of construction or something going on the street that I was supposed to be on. So I was a few minutes later than I was anticipating of arriving. Then the next day, there's also some sort of thing. There was Caltrans on the freeway, and from there I could actually see what was going on. They were just cleaning something on the side of the freeway, but they stopped traffic completely. So again, I was getting a little irritated because I thought I was going to be late to another appointment. Little did I know that the person I was going to be meeting with was actually also stuck in that traffic, and they were kind of on the back part of it. So I actually ended up, even though I got there a little bit later than I was expecting, I ended up beating the other person to our appointment. And the next day, I was supposed to get on a flight. So we're ready to take off on time. So I'm literally sitting there just waiting for takeoff. The flight ended up getting delayed for about 30 minutes. And it wasn't because there was any issue with the plane. There was just literally too much air traffic where it just was unsafe for us to take off. So I wasn't really stressed about the delay because I wasn't on a time crunch. And I'm like, I'll get there when I get there, as long as I get there safe and sound. So we take off. 30 minutes later than we were expected to take off. We ended up arriving earlier than the anticipated, the original arrival time. And my revelation was, no matter how prepared you think you are, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes that you may be potentially being protected from. But even though you may feel like you're prepared for whatever it is that you're walking into, it's all happening not on your watch. It's happening on God's watch. It's in His divine timing that it'll come together. You just have to be patient and trust the process. Even though we don't always understand what's going on behind the scenes, we don't have to understand. We just have to have trust and faith that it's all happening in His divine timing.